All right. So only Israel would dwell in these tents for 7 days, but the eighth day, which was a regular Sabbath anyway, was also part of the feast. That's why I have here days and laws, the days you keep it, and the law and how to do it. And if you want to learn more about the Day of Atonement, you could finish reading this chapter, and it gives you more details on what you did and what you didn't do. All right, moving on to the next frame. This is Hanukkah, a feast of dedication. Hanukkah, which is Chag Hachanawa, I'm sorry, Chanukah. Chag is feast, Ha is the, and Chanukah is dedication. All right, so this is the feast of dedication. It's a feast of 8 days as a memorial of the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem, which Antiochus Epiphanes defiled and destroyed. That's why I have here Hanukkah. Now, when this devil Antiochus Epiphanes came and destroyed this temple and everything in the temple and caused Israel to go off at that time, 3 years later, Judas Maccabee and his brothers, beat the hell out them heathens, drove them out of our land, drove them out of the sanctuary, and rededicated everything back. That's why we keep this feast. All right. Now these so-called Jews, according they say in the Talmud, which we know that book is garbage. They said it was a feast where they light the candles every day. That's why they got 9 candlesticks. When the scriptures tell you that, it specifically tells you that the candlestick is supposed to be one candlestick with 6 branches coming out of it, which is a menorah, which is 7 for 7 candles. Now these devils, they just made a 9 candle one, and there's nowhere in the scripture that say you're supposed to light a candle every day, each day of the feast. That was something that they came up with. I believe this guy Josephus might have touched on that, but I haven't run into any research in the scriptures dealing with you have to light a candle every day, of the feast. Okay, so you got here, so this is the Feast of Hanukkah, which is a feast of dedication. All right, and here you got the next frame. Next frame is Hanukkah is the 9th month, the 25th day at evening, to the 10th month, the 3rd day at evening, which was actually a period of 8 days. First Maccabees 4 and 52. Now on the 5 and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning and offered sacrifices according to the law upon the new altar also of the burnt offering, which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the power of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrifice of deliverance and praise. And you brothers can read this whole chapter to get more insight into what took place back then. All right, so that's the Feast of Hanukkah, or the Feast of Dedication. All right, the next frame is Yahushua kept the Feast of Dedication. John 10:22, and it was at Jerusalem the Feast of Dedication, and it was winter. All right, so that's Yahushua was going to this feast here. All right, now this is in the New Testament. Now there's nowhere in the scriptures where it speaks about, nowhere in the Old Testament law, should I say, in the law that speaks about the Feast of Dedication. That came from the book of Maccabees, which shows you that the Apocrypha is part of the Bible. That's just a little tidbit. All right, the next frame is Purim, Feast of Lots. Purim is Pawarium. Pawarium is lots. Now the lots is a feast of 2 days. Haman cast lots to slay us, and a lot fell back on him and his children. This is Purim. So that's what happened, and if you brothers want to get the understanding of Purim, all you got to do is go to the book of Esther and just read the whole book of Esther. And it gives you everything that was going on back then, and it breaks down everything that took place and why we keep this particular feast. This is Purim, dedicated the 12th month, 14th. I'm sorry, Purim, dedicated the 12th month, the 14th day at evening to the 15th day at evening. This is when the decree was given, all right, by Mordecai and Esther. All right, Esther 9 and 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, which is the 12th month, and the 15th day of the same yearly, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning unto a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them, because Haman the son of Hammedatha, which was an Edomite, the Agagite, he was a descendant of Agag, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast pur, that is, the lot, to consume them, and to destroy them. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Wherefore they called these days Purim, after the name of Pur. Therefore, for all the words of this letter, and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took up upon them, and upon their seed, and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing, and according to their appointed time every year, and that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, and every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. That's the days of Purim, and the certain things that happened at that time, and the reason why it happened. So that's been the high holy days. I'm going to put this up on our lexicon of GMS. I know there's not a whole lot of Hebrew in this, but I feel it's appropriate to put it on there. So with that, I hope you brothers got somewhat of an understanding of the high holy days. And like I said, if you want to do more research on it, all you got to do is read other scriptures, follow the precepts, look up in the concordance or your Bible dictionary, and you can get some information from there, but always cross-reference it. Everything you read outside of the Bible, cross-reference it back with the scriptures. Alright, so with that, I'm going to say shalom. I hope you brothers learned something, and to the next time, I'll see you.